Minister Paul Scott, Militant Mind Militia. Here to talk about, Jay-Z and Kanye West are coming out with a new CD in a few days called Watch the Throne. And I just wrote an article called Chuck D or Jay-Z and Shawn Carter, the heir to the conscious throne, that really talks about Jay-Z's impact on not per se hip-hop, but the conscious hip-hop, conscious rap music. What was Jay-Z's impact? Now, I know a lot of people are saying that, you shouldn't use Jay-Z and consciousness in the same sentence because Jay-Z is all about money. How dare you compare him to Public Enemy or anybody else that was kicking the knowledge back in the day? But let's look at that. I know a lot of older brothers and sisters in hip-hop can remember the first time they heard of Public Enemy or X-Clan or one of those groups back in the 80s, and how automatically they became overnight black scholars and went to school the next day and challenged the teacher for brainwashing them with that white man's his story. Not our his story, but his story. But that was, like 20 years ago, and brothers aren't really rocking the medallions anymore, the leather medallions, the African medallions that were made in Korea or Tokyo somewhere, even though we should. So a lot of people think that's an era, a gone by era. But as you know, over the last couple of years, there's been a resurgence in the search for knowledge or consciousness. And that's really by an unlikely catalyst, Shawn Jay-Z Carter. Now, what do I mean by that? A lot of times, before, the children who didn't want to hear anything about consciousness, you go to them talking about black history, they don't want to hear that. You talk about Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, and black history, African history, how we are kings and queens. Some of them will be like, get out of here with that noise, get out of here. We don't want to hear that old time stuff. But if you go to that same kid and ask him about Jay-Z and Illuminati, all of a sudden they want to know something about the Illuminati. All of a sudden they want to know about history. And to me, overall, that's been a good thing. That's been a real good thing. I mean, almost like, the Black Power movement did back in the day, sparking people's intellect and try to get them knowledgeable about black history. So, when people came out with that idea that, Jay-Z is in the Illuminati, a lot of people got open to knowledge. And if you look over the last year even, hip-hop magazines, like XXL did this magazine, and it says Hip-Hop's Obsession with the Illuminati not too long ago. Hip-Hop Weekly did a cover story on Kanye West and his alleged affiliation with secret societies. So overall, it's been a good thing because people have started reading again, and that's always a good thing. But what we have to do right now is connect the dots. We have to really connect the dots. What does the Illuminati, the secret societies, how does that affect the hood? How does that affect the price of gas going up? How does that affect police brutality? How does that affect, brothers and sisters going to prison at alarming rates? We have to tie the Illuminati and secret society and all that talk about Jay-Z being part of that to what's really happening in the hood. See, that's what they don't want to happen. They don't want to connect the dots. Now, a lot of brothers and sisters have been connecting the dots for years between hip-hop and what's going on with the secret societies. I'm talking Professor Griff, and before Professor Griff, actually a brother named Steve Coakley was the one who really brought the information about secret societies and Illuminati to the masses of people. And you can remember Black Dot's book, Hip Hop Decoded. So a lot of brothers have been doing a lot of work over the years trying to bring this knowledge to the people. We have to connect the dots. See, there are a lot of books that they really don't want us to read. A lot of books they really don't want us to read. One of those books is Ruled by Secrecy, Jim Mars. Another book, and this is probably the classic book, None Dare Recall It, Conspiracy, by Gary Allen. A little short book, but it goes into who really rules the world, the real names behind the Illuminati, because this book, the New Age Movement, the Illuminati 666, the New Age Movement, put it out back in the day, really the Illuminati, according to this book, the Illuminati will never go under the name Illuminati. So to find out who the Illuminati is, you have to read these other books. Also, this real thick book right here is one of the classic books, probably one of the best books on secret societies by Carol Quigley, called Tragedy and Hope. And he is one of the ex-president or former president Bill Clinton's role models, Carol Quigley. So these are the books that really break down what's going on. And also, if you want to connect it with hip-hop, once again, Black Dot's book, Hip Hop Decoded, and Analytics by Professor Griff, where he really gets into how secret societies rule hip-hop and their influence on hip-hop. So once again, when we talk about the Illuminati, we're not talking about just some fictitious thing. We're talking about the names of the people that really rule the planet in those billionaire corporations. Also, U.S. News and World Report just did a story on secret societies not too long ago as well. I think this was last May. So you see it's really catching on. People are really getting interested in it. So right now we have to connect the dots and make that relevant. Because think about it. What would happen if brothers and sisters would stop watching 106 in Park and would start watching the History Channel? What would happen if to the power relationships in this world, in this country, or in this world, if brothers and sisters put down the Source magazine and XXL magazine and started reading about the Fortune 500 or the U.S. News and Report? So we have to really break this down for our brothers and sisters so they'll be aware of what's really going on. Now, to read this full article, go to militantmindmilitia.com, militantmindmilitia.com, and follow us on Twitter at RBG Alert, at RBG Alert. Truth Minister Paul Scott, Militant Mind Militia, please.
Thank you. We bid you good afternoon. Our topic is the future of Pan-Africanism and the